Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday. Today, listen, how does Sobrevivencia handle armed attacks away from your field of vision, from the rear? That's what we're gonna look at today. A warm welcome to all. Listen, if you're here for the first time, before we both forget, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so that you don't miss any future content, and avail yourself. You have the free resources, the most important one by far, the no-cost cane clarity call. You get that by texting the letter CCC to the number on the screen, and then you have Facebook groups that are open to the general public. Just request entry and they will let you right in. How do you handle, we know that Sobrevivencia was designed to deal with multiple assailants armed with an impact tool. That's something very specific. And of course, you use the principles to deal with different types of armed attacks. The two main types of attacks are, the first one is the one that's not stationary. You're not being held up. The tool is not on you. Maybe it's an impact tool and they're coming. So you've seen the SV guard. If you follow Sobrevivencia, maybe you're familiar already with this motion, which is the walking motion. And we've seen how you get to the inside. The advantage that it has is that you can pivot multi-directional with this by just bringing it up and down right in here. Right? That's part of the movement. So it can't, and I'm gonna preface the whole thing. If you didn't hear something, if you didn't catch a shadow, you're gonna get hit. There's no defense against that. Assuming that you did, and we're coming with an impact tool, right? So if I were looking over here and I have an assault that's coming, I'm feeling here, oh, I see that, right? That's, the movement allows you, but how do you handle this when it's stationary? And stationary can be with the tool. Maybe you're here and they come with the tool from behind and you find yourself, this is a crowbar, and you, right now you can't breathe. That's one way. This thing can escalate, and now you have the knife. And listen, just from pressing there with the blade, that can be enough to go ahead and cut you. So I want to show you just something before we move into that. The answer to this, and it's the reason why the founder is so keen on SV practitioners from the onset practicing the base movements, right? And he even refers to these movements as these silly little movements and drills that he gives you that flow, because the answer is there. I'm going to show you one example of that. This movement where the hands, you have what we call the slide and glide. And SV, two hands always. They tend to, they're palm down, and you have this movement so that if I'm here and I do something like this, pay attention here, and I come out. Notice the movement here, and now you have this positioning, the shoulder comes up a bit, you come down and you strike. You find yourself in this situation, right? Whether you have the cane, right? Whether you have the cane or you don't have the tool, you're empty hand, because in SV, much like ACSD, the cane teaches the empty hand and not the other way around. Now we go to a formula, and that formula is to clear the weapon, anchor it in this case, and extract. And that's what you're going to use, whether this is a stick, whether this is not even a firearm. It's still clear, anchor, extract. So the first thing is I need to remove this. And there's not a whole heck of a lot of things I can do, because if I try to move around and maneuver, like I said, just from pushing in, maybe you get cut, right? So the hands are here, say, hey, I don't want, and I want to decipher what it is that she wants. But from here, once that tool is already, it's just such a short trip. All I need is to have that blade off of my neck. Now analyze this. It's to my center, it's aligned with my center. She's holding it away from her, so who has the advantage here? And you can test this, go to your loved one and say, hey, you know, maybe you're bigger, stronger, and you're holding this, and just have them do this and test it. Say, go ahead and cut me, and see, and you'll see that it's gonna be very difficult for this to come back up here. This has to be making contact for it to be effective. Now, here comes the movement. I want to bring your attention. Don't move from there if you can. I want to bring you back to this movement here, where there's a shifting of the hip, and this comes up and you're stepping out. Let me show you that. So you clearing and you're anchoring in one move, and now here it is. Here come the hands, right? Here's the same movement down, and now you're in a position to extract. That is an example of how clear, anchor, extract happens. Now, you have the tool. What do you do with it? And I'm not going to get into that because that would be kind of like a part 2 to this, but I do want to point out that you do live in a society that's governed by laws. You have the tool now, and you are responsible. So how you handle yourself with, in this case, a blade, that's totally on you. And we believe in SV that the best use of this is in a non-lethal, and I'll leave it at that, okay, non-lethal fashion. Let's go back and take a look here at these movements, right? So if you are being held now, this is being held, so you can see where the walking, this is how you walk. Can you see that, right? That's that guard again. And you're being pushed, maybe you're being escorted, maybe there's a hand there and you're being moved. When you do this, this is your connection point. So whether I have the cane or not, I want to show this one from here so they can see. So remember, here's the movement. This is going to act, this is my SV guard, and this is my connection point. So she's pushing in, I'm gonna go ahead and open that door. There's that SV pivot, that's my connection point. Now I can go ahead and, this case, reverse anchor, right, and extract. That was my connection point, and it comes from this movement. That is just a glimpse at how you handle attacks from the rear. But again, it's what I always tell you. If you didn't catch something that alerted you to it, that's tough, and there's a hierarchy there, right? The kidneys, there's a great volume of blood filtering through there, so that's certainly something that we want to be able to, protect. And then from there, if it is a stationary, then you want that formula, because during a time like this, you can't think. Listen, if you like this, go ahead and comment on it, and we can get you information on there's only one way to learn this, and it's through the online membership for less than the price of a daily cup of coffee, if you can believe that. All right, I'm Joe Robaina. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.